But actually, today's video is more about how we make decisions and what shapes our mind into thinking certain things than just about streetlights. If you want to know how these two things can possibly connect, keep watching. So, again, the question, do you run red streetlights? I mean, if nobody's watching, late at night, what could go wrong? Hey, stop! You're a role model. I mean, you can run the red light if nobody's there, if there are no children around, but if they see you so carelessly, they're going to do the same thing one day. I remember when we were taught in primary school how to cross the road properly. I grew up in Germany and I tell you, crossing the street is no joke. It's nothing to be messed around with. The teachers were clear. Instructions here, instructions there. Before, I never thought that stepping one foot before another could be that serious. But trust me, it is. One sentence just keeps up coming straight to my mind. Red, stay, green, go. But before you walk, just remember, look left, look right, look left. Okay, now you're clear. I think that no matter where you actually come from, you remember these kind of things. Be cautious, don't run, and most importantly, stop at the red lights. As a child, this made major sense to me. It still does. But I have to admit that there is a slight possibility that at a time when I had grown to be a teenager, there might have been some situations in which me and my friends forgot these easy rules we learned in elementary school. Gladly, we're all still here and nobody got caught in a traffic accident. After all, the majority of rules is reasonable. There's a reasonable background behind it. Okay, small mental jump. I'm 18. I just got my license. I love driving. I love the independence, loud music, picking up friends, all of it. And most importantly, I love just being on my own. Being 18 overall was a great time. Some new rules came along, some left, some stayed. But at one night, I found myself sitting in my car. It's around 2:30 a.m. I'm standing in front of a red streetlight. I'm from a small town, so the streetlight circuits sometimes are a little bit off, especially at night. After a few minutes of waiting for the light to turn green, a thought strikes my head. I just waited here more than 6 minutes for a red light to turn green on an empty road. No other human being around. Just me, waiting for a light to turn its color. What am I doing with my life? In the next minute, I thought, abiding the rules, I think. Being a reasonable citizen. But who made those rules? Who decided that the green signal is more important than the actual traffic that is taking place? So, as said in the beginning, I have to admit that this video's main point is actually not traffic lights, but rather how sometimes in our life there are things we learn from a very young age and we just take them as set. Call it rules, laws, good upbringing, great manners. Some things are just set. You do it this way. If you do it any other way, it's considered wrong. And if it's 2:30 a.m. in the morning and you're wasting your precious lifetime on a street waiting for an LED to turn green, then that's just how it is. Right? Maybe not everything we learned is set. Maybe not everything which is taught to us is automatically good and should be maintained. Maybe there are some things which we intentionally need to unlearn. Toxic behavior towards yourself or others, you learned it from your parents. Trust issues which followed you all the way up to being 30 because someone hurt you at age 12. Being unfriendly to your new colleague because the new ones just gotta learn it the hard way. I think this list could go on forever. My point is not to say that these things are just one thought away of being unlearned or in any way trivial, but more I want to point out that I think we need to think about what we think about ourselves and others. Which thoughts are we benefiting from and which are just making us worse people? Our thinking and acting determines our thinking and acting. Luckily, most of our set values are actually not enshrined in law, in contrast to the common understanding of how to cross a street. We can decide whether we want to keep our set values or think about the reasonability of them. Maybe some things were never rules, but rather useful implementations of thought. As well, some of them can be hindering your character, your relationships, and your overall growth as a person. And the people are absolutely right. By deciding how you cross the street, you're functioning as a role model. But ask yourself, what kind of role model do I want to be? One that abides by the rules, not thinking about how reasonable they are, or one that is wise, not only caring about the rules but also how we can change them for the better. A few days ago, I talked to a friend about discrimination. After I expressed my discomfort with the whole situation going on, he said that there were always people who were being discriminated. And we could only do so much but have to become friends with the fact that we can't fix it all. Although there might be some sad truth attached to a statement, I felt something rebelling inside of me. Yes, maybe it's been like that for ages. And even further, many things happening right now are neither our fault nor our responsibility. But my set value is that I don't think that anybody needs to be discriminated. Is it a challenging thought? Yes. Will I fail while trying to achieve it? Will I fail while trying to succeed? Most probably. But do I think that it is a better set value than thinking that discrimination and looking down on each other is the normative? Absolutely. Maybe it's time that we identify the streetlights which were implemented into our thinking. Some of them useful, good. Some of them just ready to be walked over. Many things have been like this or that for ages, but it might as well be the perfect timing for them to be changed. Maybe it's just red streetlights, but I think that there's a chance that it is much more than that.